A friend of mine thinks of me while having sex so they can keep going for much longer. r/ask Reddit by online comps. What did you find out about your friend's sex life that actually shocked you? Years ago, my insecure virgin friend bragged to us about finally losing his virginity to the hottest chick. We didn't believe him because he always made up stories about this which were broken open every single time. He was obsessed with being a virgin at the age of 24 and his one goal was to lose it. Needless to say, he wasn't in a healthy state of mind, and we tried our best to boost his confidence and convince him that it didn't matter, but to little effect. He said that, this time, he'd prove it to us, so we'd know he wasn't lying. Well, one night we're at the pub, and he brings her over. Really gorgeous girl. We gently begin to pry into the details of their sex life. She is very open about it and says she had been with my friend for 2 months and that he spent the night with her dozens of times. Afterwards, some of us thought it was a conspiracy where he paid the girl to lie. We never saw them kiss or anything that night. Eventually, we came to accept it and felt happy for our friend because looks like he finally achieved what he so desperately wanted. We never saw the girl again. Though this isn't abnormal because we usually don't bring our GFS around to hang out. A few months later I saw the same girl on the train. I asked how her boyfriend was doing and she said he's doing good and left for the Air Force. My virgin friend was still in town, obviously. So I asked, well, what about, virgin friend? Did you lie to us that night? She said that no, he has been over to their house many times for sex. Except the sex took place exclusively between her and her Air Force BF while my virgin friend watched. She had a kink for sexually humiliating guys and I guess my virgin friend thought it was better than nothing. Then it dawned on me that the wording she used that night was deliberately evasive, though technically not lying. I never told anyone, and I never confronted him. A few months later they broke up, and my virgin friend, years later, still brings up stories about how he used to hit that. But I just play along and keep his secret. Found out half of my friend group were regularly having foursomes together and rudely not inviting the rest of US. Did they end up extending that invite? Listen, I'm not packing no Louisville slugger down there or anything. But I can make a mean taterted casserole I could bring to the festivities. Friend wouldn't let me use his computer 20 years ago. He said he had things on there that would change how I thought about him. I stowed the thought aside. 12 years or so later, married with a young daughter, they threw his ass in prison for having some insanely large amount of child porn on his computer. He was part of some huge child porn ring. Evidently really young girls. Guess he wasn't kidding. My friend had anal sex with her boyfriend for 5 years before having vaginal sex. She was too scared she would get pregnant. I have nothing against anal sex but it totally shocked the hell out of me. Ah yes, the poop hole loophole. A friend of mine thinks of me while having sex so they can keep going for much longer. How does that make you feel? Weird, flattered, indifferent? Mostly weird. I mean, we are both straight men. Go figure. He does that so he can delay orgasm, or he does that to maintain erection. It's hilarious either way, haha. The former. If it were the latter, it'd still be weird but somewhat flattering, not gonna lie. That when house sitting for us, he and his wife fucked in every room of our house and also on my motorcycle. Edit, since you all want details. I found out a few months later when the bastard told me. His wife also mentioned it. The bike was a custom Harley with a wide, low seat. I'm pretty sure they bumped uglies on top while it was on the kickstand. I had a hard time enjoying the bike after that. I ended up selling it to our local city councilman. I didn't disclose the fucking. Someone's gotta do it. In high school a classmate of mine was bragging one day about losing his virginity to a lady in our community who happened to be the mother to a girl a grade above us. We all called bullshit and asked why he'd make something like that up cause not only is it not believable, it just wasn't even a funny lie. Fast forward 6 months and fellow classmate has to leave class on multiple occasions to go to court. Older lady was bragging to a co-worker about sleeping with said classmate and now older lady is a sex offender. Older lady was bragging to a co-worker about sleeping with said classmate and now older lady is a sex offender. Hilarious. good to know the system is working in both directions. My best friend in college got in a pretty kinky sexual relationship with this dude for a while. They'd do BDSM type stuff, none of which is particularly shocking to me. But I remember visiting her apartment and seeing a spoon out randomly in her room and asked why it was there. She said she loved the taste of his cum so much he'd jerk off onto the spoon and feed it to her while she was tied up. I didn't think she'd ever really shock me, but that one took the cake. Wait until they find out you can come directly into a person's mouth. Doing it onto a spoon seems inconvenient. Edit. Guys, it was a joke. I know they are most likely aware of the ability to put a penis into a mouth. Cum spoons and poop knives. What a time to be alive. Best friend in HS was casually seeing this dude who was a senior our sophomore year. Well, he graduated and dumped her. Next year his brother started HS. She proceeded to date him. Took both of their virginities. Achievement unlocked. Eskimo brothers. Well, I found out he likes hosting gangbangs. He invited me to one too. From what I hear, gangbangs are a bunch of dudes beside each other jerking off, except you get to slide in for 2 seconds. Sounds pretty gay to me. With a honey in the middle, there's some leeway. My roommate broke his bed one day after coming home with his girlfriend. Pretty ordinary so far. That happens, although already quite funny. Then I remembered that I helped him build his bed up when we moved in. Dude's bed has 2 slatted frames. How the hell did they break that? Maybe he was dating Irma. Mayo. That she had elaborate pirate roleplay sex. We were housemates in college, and I heard way more than I bargained for. Also, the guy she had elaborate pirate roleplay sex with smelled bad and wore those shoes with the separate toes. My best friend never masturbated until I told him the experiences of the luxury. Then he actually did it, and he questioned his life. I mean, that's pretty mind-blowing if you've never done it. A couple that I was friends with was into necrophilia play. He would make his wife take a nice cold shower, quickly dry off, and then she'd just lay there while he fucked her cold unmoving body. And they really liked it. The first necrophiliac I've seen on this thread. He posts himself and his girlfriend to Pornhub and Reddit NSFW. Are they popular? Like, if someone said the channel, would people be like, oh damn? Wouldn't you like to know where the boy? My best friend's boyfriend apparently has such a gargantuan penis that they can't really have sex in the traditional way. They find a way to have fun, but he has to settle for hand job. It was hard for me to have a conversation with that guy after she told me that. Edit. Oh boy, I wasn't expecting this to get attention. I just had to text my friend and tell her that I told a ton of people on the internet about her boyfriend's huge penis. So, I hear you've got an enormous darn. Care to elaborate? It's a long story. Edit. Now my first Reddit gold is from a dick pun. Edit 2. Now I also have my first silver. This must have been one solid pun. My wife had a female friend in high school that saved all the used condoms in a brown paper bag under her bed. And from what I heard, there were a lot of them. Can't that shit mold or go rotten? Oh. Anyone who's read the Cumbox story is well aware that yes it can. That he was having sex with my fiancé. Had to reread for a or not. S3X. A former friend of mine used to wipe her husband's, but after he'd been to the bathroom. Initially she'd do his washing, and he'd leave stains on his underwear. For her? I'm not sure, and that progressed to some humiliation and her checking him when he got home from work every day. She told me this when we were outside having a cigarette, and I then had to sit across from them both for the longest game of Monopoly. One friend had sex with another friend. Because of her, people started calling him Anaconda Dick. Because his dick's CGI has aged surprisingly well and it once regurgitated John Voight. Was hanging out with my boyfriend and our friends, who are also a couple. We were having breakfast smoothies. They casually mention that they are going to an orgy in Brooklyn on Saturday and it's a really progressive orgy because all men need to be invited by a woman. I'm like, wow, that's a really interesting system. Internally I'm like, you guys go to orgies. Please subscribe and hit the like button. Take a look at this cute kitten inside the boot and hit the subscribe button. Also, please hit the bell icon and leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching, and explore the world.